What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. So I wanted to get you guys this video. I know we seen Elimination Chamber this past weekend, and I want to collect my thoughts over the weekend before I do make this video and everything like that. If you guys did tune in to the stream yesterday with me, Dylan, and Wrestling with Bros, we kind of talked about the chamber and stuff like that. And if you guys did tune in, you guys did see me kind of showed a different side of myself, I guess people have been saying, and whatnot. But I wanted to kind of make a singles video about everything that I talked about. And before I get into it, I want to put this out there. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not going to be bashing Liv Morgan. I'm not going to be like bashing Becky Lynch. I'm not going to do any of that. Um, this video is pretty much me just being completely honest with you guys and giving my thoughts and opinions on everything and where ultimately I could see things going with the Liv Morgan going forward. So I wanted to give you guys this video and everything like that. So if you guys, so we're gonna get into it right now. So if you guys did see Elimination Chamber, she had a great showing in the match. I will say that she did have definitely a great showing. Was I disappointed with her losing? Yes and no. And the reason why I say that because I would like to see them kind of give her the win because I feel like it would have came off as a swerve because people probably wouldn't expect it. Just because I've seen how much people have been clamoring for Becky to win the bout and everything like that. So it would have kind of made sense to kind of do like at least one shocking thing that people probably wouldn't expect on the show and everything like that. But at the same time, you kind of got to understand why they went with Becky because that is the bigger match. And at the end of the day, you want, especially with it being WrestleMania 40, they want to make this a biggest deal as possible. They want the biggest stars that they can possibly have to put on the show, and whatnot. And I'm not saying that Liv Morgan is not a big star. She is, but unfortunately, and this may be the harsh truth and whatnot, but she's not at that WrestleMania main event level just yet, unfortunately. Now, can she get there? Absolutely. But right now, she needs to continue to keep proving why she deserves to be there, why she deserves to be in these matches like the Rumble and Chamber. And I feel like since she's came back, she's definitely accomplished those things in the grand scheme of things, but there's still room for improvement for her. I really feel like maybe a character change could be the first step into accomplishing that to get her to that potential main event level scene. That's what you want for her, and myself included. I want to see her get her moment. I want to see her accomplish these big goals that she may have set for herself. I want to see her win the Rumble and win Chambers and stuff like that and compete in these main event spots at these pay-per-views. But unfortunately, that is not the case because when you look at it, when you have somebody that's a champion, that lets the fans know in the company's perspective that's who we're backing. We're backing this woman or this guy. This is the guy that we see a lot of stock and we're putting a lot of stock into. And unfortunately, that has not been the case for Liv Morgan as of late. Um, and the way if you look at it, and I don't want people thinking just because of what I'm saying, I'm not a Liv Morgan fan. I'm still going to be a Liv Morgan fan. Don't get me wrong. This is just me giving a little criticism in the grand scheme of things. I'm still a Liv Morgan fan, you guys. I'm always going to be a Liv Morgan fan, regardless. But um, you got to think about it. If you what's look at all the stars that you have as stacked as the roster is right now. You have Becky, you have Bianca, you have Bayley, you have Charlotte coming back very, very soon. You have Dakota being cleared for in-ring action. You have Io. You have literally a lot of talent on that roster. And you have Jay Cargill, you got Nia Jax, you got Raquel Rodriguez, you got Candice LeRae, you got a lot of names, and you got Naomi, you got Asuka, you got all these different names that could at any point be elevated to that next level. And it begs the question that's going to be harder for Liv is how is she going to be able to adapt to all this? How is she going to be able to stand out amongst the crop of talent that I just named? How is she going to separate herself from the pack to where it seems like, okay, all right, we get it. We see where they're going. And honestly, with the way they kind of think how they set things up at the chamber, um, for me personally, I still think there's a possibility that she could, end up getting added to the Rhea and Becky match. There's always that possibility. I mean, you got this whole "we want Liv" movement kind of trending right now. I think when I went to bed Saturday night, she was literally the number one trending thing on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and she was trending yesterday, and she's still trending at the time you recording making this video for you guys. Is she still trending? So I wonder if it's going to be a situation to where um she's that plays into a fact of what we see on television moving forward. Now that there is this movement kind of going on and everything like that. So you got to take that into account too. But when you look at all those talent that I named, and this may seem like a hot take, this might seem like shocking news to you guys and whatnot, but if you were to rank her, right, she's not at that A level tier, unfortunately. And unfortunately, she is that B level wrestler. The reason being, there's some things that kind of need to be improved and expanded upon before we sit here and say she's that A level talent. Because let's be honest, if you put Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan on Mania, as good as that match is probably going to be, the story's going to be there. Don't get me wrong, but that match is not going to main event over Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. It's not going to main event over Bayley and Io. It's not going to main event over Drew and Seth. It's not going to main event over, literally, if we get this tag match with Roman and Rock versus Cody and Seth. It's not going to main event over those matches. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. And the thing is, they kind of told you last at the chamber that we see, like, they're letting you know they see a lot of in her, but it's going to take some time to kind of get there. And it also kind of showed you that, in my personal opinion, WWE do not have a lot of confidence in Liv Morgan's ability to pin somebody like a Bianca Belair or Becky clean. They showed you that, and that lets you know that there's still some room that needs to be improved on. Now, could this all be part of the plan? Absolutely. Could this all be part of her heel turn? Absolutely. Could this whole "we want Liv Morgan" be part of something that could lead to something with her possibly being added? Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Liv Morgan get involved in this match, because I really feel like, the kind of, in a sense of how things played out, it could kind of work, only because I feel like if you were to make this a triple threat, you kind of have everything going for it, because you have the money aspect of it. When you look at Becky and Rhea, like, let's be honest, as much as I like Liv Morgan, they're not going to probably put her over Becky Lynch. Unfortunately, the reason being, first of all, she has a book, so they're going to want to sell that. And two, she's literally one of the better stars in the division. And people kind of give her hate because of her not putting over talent. Like, let's be honest, that's not true. Like, if you go back to her NXT run, she put over a lot of names. Even when she was on the kind of main roster, like, if you look at it, she gave Xia Li her best match. She gave Nia Jax her best match. She put Tiffany Stratton on the map to where she is now. Like, she even put over Lyra Valkyria, literally in a sense of making her champion. So you can't sit up here and say that she hasn't really been put over talent. Honestly, if you want Liv Morgan to be involved, I wouldn't see. You can make a case that, like, how everything played out, you don't be surprised if she were to literally show up on Raw tonight and to try to attack Becky Lynch. If she tries to attack Becky Lynch and tries to injure her, you could have that play a factor in the story, and it comes into a play where Rhea goes to Adam Pearce and say, "Well, okay, I need to prove that I'm a champion for a reason." She demands that Adam Pearce adds Liv Morgan into the match. You can have that, but if you have Liv Morgan in that match and she loses, then what? Then what was the point of literally building up this story? What was the point of everybody trying to get invested in her if they're not going to give her the win in the grand scheme of things? Now, if they let this match happen with Becky, as good as do I want to personally see the match? Not necessarily, but I know the match is going to be entertaining. My only thing with that is I feel like the story aspect of things, it feel like they're not going to really have as much time as they can, as much as I would want to see. I mean, yes, we've got some teases here and stuff like that in the lead up to like the Rumble and Chamber and everything like that, to where it seemed like she was gonna win. But like the story of like, everything that's gonna happen post Chamber going into WrestleMania, because we're still like about 40 days away from WrestleMania. So I'm telling you guys, like, anything can happen, anything can change. Like, because just because Becky won the Chamber doesn't mean that Liv Morgan can't be added or possibly do something else that's important. Because you got to think about it. WWE even said it themselves when she had that whole incident when she got arrested and everything. They literally said there's no heat between themselves and Liv Morgan. If anything, they even said they went to the distance themselves and said that they have big plans for her upon her return and being part of a high key big money profile match at WrestleMania. Could this possibly be her getting added to the world title opportunity? Absolutely. Could she go through like a story where she's trying to find a way into that match? Absolutely. I would love to see that. But you got to think about it. If you look at the talent, you got to understand they're not going to probably put her up there just yet. Can she eventually get to that level to where she is like in the same conversation as your Biancas, your Jade Cargills, your Baileys and stuff like that? Absolutely. She's definitely gonna be in that conversation someday. Don't get me wrong, but right now is not the time, unfortunately. Right now, they need to kind of figure out what they're gonna do with her as far as her character work. Her in-ring work kind of needs to be improved on a little bit. The Oblivion, as much as I like the finisher, it kind of needs to change a little bit. They kind of need to incorporate something else. Maybe add some submissions into her moveset too. That will kind of be something refreshing for her, especially if she's going to be turning heel very soon and going a heel character like. I would like to see some different things to kind of change with her if she does go heel, which I do think is going to eventually happen. And another thing is, if you put the title on Liv Morgan, then what? What's next? Because right now, I feel like, this is me personally, Liv Morgan is kind of in a situation where it's her chase that seems gonna be must watch. The chase of her trying to get to the title. But the thing that's gonna be just as important as the chase is what's next for her as champion. What changes about her as a champion? She cannot stay the same character that she's been portraying for the past few years and now become champion again. No, things have to change with her. She needs to kind of change some things up now that she's champion. If she's going to be in a big main event level spot, she's going to have to change some things up. And unfortunately, this is another thing. If you look at Liv Morgan, as good as she is, she's not at that A level tier yet as far as competing in big pay-per-view main events yet. You're not going to put her in a main event one-on-one with someone like a Becky Lynch or a Rhea Ripley at a probably a WrestleMania. They're not going to do it. They're not. Royal Rumble, not going to happen. SummerSlam, possibility, but not going to happen. Money in the Bank, no. Survivor Series, no. If you have her main event, a pay-per-view, it's going to literally be a B-level pay-per-view. You're literally going to have her main eventing your Backlash, maybe Bash at Berlin. I don't know how that's going to play out with the card and stuff like that. You got Extreme Rules. You have Payback. She can easily main event those pay-per-views. So just because she's not main eventing your big four doesn't mean she still can't main event a pay-per-view. She could still main event. There's literally 4 pay-per-views, right? There's literally 7 other ones. There's literally 7 other pay-per-views that she can easily main event. Chamber, she can main event. Those are just a couple that you can name. Before it was taken away, TLC, she can easily be somebody that you could put on the poster for TLC just because she fits the mold of what that pay-per-view can be. Honestly, if we want to be honest. But I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, it's one of the I take constructive criticism too. I was in the same situation with you guys. I want Liv Morgan to kind of succeed and have these moments, but it's one of those things that I have to understand as a wrestling content creator and everything like that aside. And first of all, I'm a fan first, okay? So my fan aspect, I wanted to win, but if you, at the same time, you got to understand that it's a business. They're gonna put the best, give them the match with the best stakes as far as money and ratings. Liv Morgan, she draws ratings, but not to the same sentiment as a Becky Lynch or Rhea Ripley. It doesn't. I'm sorry. As much as I wanted to say the same thing, but unfortunately that is not the case. Now the question is, where does she go next? We will have to see. You just gotta be patient. I mean, like I said, anything can happen. We're still 40 days away from Mania. Anything can change. She can easily get added to that match. Okay, cool. She can. That honestly, I feel like maybe the best spot for her, maybe, is if you want to have her be in Mania. If you have her lose, it will kind of suck in a sense. But the only way they can kind of keep that story going is maybe if I thought of some different scenarios. Liv Morgan could be the reason why Becky doesn't win at Mania. You can have that non-title feud with Becky and Liv coming out of Mania, which I would be interested in, because now we can have this whole rise of Liv Morgan where you're building her throughout the rest of this year. And maybe next year at Rumble, she can finally get her moment. I honestly can see her winning this year. Honestly, if you want to be, if you guys were to say, will she win the championship this year? Absolutely. Don't be surprised if she were to become a world champion, whether if it's on Raw or SmackDown this year. I easily can say she is going to hold some gold this year. I really do. It's just the fact that it's not going to probably be at Mania, unfortunately. It's a possibility, but right now, it's probably not going to be the case, unfortunately. Like, if you put her in that if you make her a triple threat and she loses, it would suck only because it's like, what's the point of her putting her in the match only for her to lose? Where I really think that they could go with this is have it be at Backlash. I really feel like having them face at Backlash, and Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, with their history, they can sell, that being a main event match for the show. Honestly, the story's there. The story could be there for Liv, kind of wanting to do different things. And another thing you got to take into a factor, that things could be different around this time. Last time Liv Morgan faced Rhea Ripley, Rhea was a heel, Liv was a face. But now, with everything that's kind of being set in place and kind of starting to be teased, don't be surprised if Liv Morgan goes into this match as the heel and Rhea as the tweener or a babyface. Because the crowd loves them some Rhea Ripley. They do. They really love them some Rhea Ripley, and kind of what you kind of looked at the Chamber, they booed Liv Morgan. They booed her when she literally eliminated Tiffany Stratton, and it's crazy to say that, but it's the truth. I feel like she can play into that like she did when she pinned literally Tiffany Stratton. The crowd were booing, and she was mocking the crowd and literally saying, "Boo hoo, cry about it." That's what she was literally doing. She was literally mocking the crowd, and that comes off as a heel-like move. So I feel like if I'm WWE, expand upon the things that we've been teased so far and kind of go all in with it. That's what I want to see. I want to see Liv Morgan get to that level, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case, because you got to think about it. You still have these big names. If she's going to be up there in that conversation, she's going to have to figure out how she can separate herself from the pack. She's going to have to. Because right now, I mean, things are decent with her, but they need to kind of improve a little bit. Things kind of need to change in her character, how she's presented on television, come off more as a threat when her presence is felt in a ring. Her promos need to be tweaked up a little bit. Her moveset, kind of adding some submissions in there, kind of getting away from that Oblivion. If you want that to keep that in, if you want to keep the Oblivion in her moveset, make that a signature but not her finisher, because it's not going to come off as believable as putting someone like a Rhea Ripley, a Bayley, a Naomi, Asuka. It's not going to come off as believable as putting those women away, unfortunately. I'm sorry. As much as I want to sit here and say everything that I said at Chamber, unfortunately, it's not going to be the case, unfortunately. But comment down below. Let me know. What do you guys think is left for Liv Morgan? Do you guys think there's still a possibility for her to get added in the WrestleMania match with her and with Becky and Rhea? Do you think that there's something big in store for her at Mania? Do you think there's still a possibility for her to become world champion this year? Do you think this year should be the rise of Liv Morgan into the main event scene, her ascension into the main event scene, and next year we can finally have her win that Rumble or Chamber and finally get her big match at Mania that we all want? Or do you think that's a possibility that they could do that this year and have her possibly get added to this match at Mania, or have her match one-on-one singles match at Backlash? Or do you think they probably will hold off on this match and maybe do it at SummerSlam this year? I know people are going to kind of claim that idea, But I want to get your opinion on everything that I did say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you super kick that like button, Superman punch that post notification bell, and spear that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subscribers, but the ultimate goal is 10K by the end of the year. I know we can do it as a wrestling community. I know I can do it as a wrestling content creator, so let's make it happen. I can't do that without you guys. So please take 3 seconds out of your day to hit that like button. Helps on the algorithm so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube. Superman punch that post notification bell so every time I post a new video, whether it's a reaction video, rant video, live stream, any type of video, you can be in the loop of things when I do drop a video. And spear that subscribe button. I can't get to that 10K if you guys don't subscribe to the channel. So take 3 seconds out of your day to do that for me. I would very much appreciate you guys. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you guys that do tune into my videos. You guys don't have to, but I appreciate you for doing so. In the grand scheme of things, I'm very appreciative of every one of you, and I'm very appreciative for everybody that does tune in and become a part of the channel in the future. I'm appreciative to every one of you as well. But that is the end of the video. I hope everybody has a great day. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.